Yeah. All right. Good evening and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth.
Yes.
And we're going to say Happy Pride.
Yes. Come and gone.
It's just starting.
Just start.
Yeah.
Come and
It's
gone.
just starting. All right.
I don't even keep up with the itinerary. It's either it's a hit or miss with me.
Yeah.
When you work the way we work, everything is a hit and miss. It's like at the end of the day, hey and bye. That's the way it is.
Well, as we're in the mode of it, just kind of highlight on the aspects of where it is, where it's been beneficial to the LGBTQ community, for the exciting right reasons. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot that goes on that I don't agree with, that you don't agree with, But in any I guess collective group, as you might as well say, there's always something.
I mean, at the end of the day, what's everybody else's cup of tea? It's
Right.
not going to be your cup of tea, my cup of tea.
Right.
But, to be honest with you, it's nice that there's a day set out for celebration
Well,
into a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the end of the day, like I say, it is what it is. But it's not really something that I really had. It's just something I never, in the beginning I wanted to get involved, but after a while it's like, certain things are just not for me. So I just do my own little thing and have my own little prize.
Right. Well, I mean, and I think that what has happened with the aspect of pride, it has become, let me adjust our camera here.
Yeah, might as well, because we're looking all types of ways. But people say that we're stuck up if we're not involved in those types of festivities. I'm not stuck up. It's just certain things are just not for me. I think it's just at the end of the day, there's a way I would love to see the celebration handled, but it's just
But
it's just not
there.
But everybody's not in the vein of being conservative about certain things, of being,
right.
Dignified about a lot of stuff.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, what can you do? You just let people do what they do. And you just do what you do.
This is true. I mean, we had the opportunity when we were living back in Atlanta, that to be around, the parade, which was actually the Pride in June, of course, and then of course the other on Black Pride we didn't really participate in too much because it was
whatever that was.
Whatever that was going to be, or whatever it was. But
I love the house events.
Right.
The house events are really.
House party events?
Yeah, house events are really good. I like that we can all get together and dance house music, have a some. It's not too much going on, and we're just trying to y'all, so get with it.
Yeah.
But on that though, I like that type of celebration. House celebration is another, I think, form of pride, because it's our music. House music is our music. It's the LGBT, it's the gay music. It's something that a lot of people would enjoy if they were to get into it.
Right.
But to be honest with you, you have a younger demographic that likes a little bit of the hip hop,
a little,
in the urban sense of everything, and
I'm messing with you a little.
Well, hey, they like it, and at the end of the day, what can you do? But
I'm glad you kind of opened that up real quick, because me being from the what we consider the old school generation or whatever, OG as I'm referred to in that. And I'm glad you brought up about house music. Okay, house music was not. It's not generationalized. It is a progression of music, because Europe has embraced house music from forever and a day.
Oh yeah.
They're now, of course, as you know, going across the country and around the world, pretty much, we've got these great DJs that have these party concerts. So these DJs come out and they play house music off the chain. And it is nothing but majority urban white kids and a few of the blacks that show up. And I'm talking about thousands of people, that go out and celebrate the mode of house music, and one of the things about it is that it touches your being. it actually has the ability to reach into your soul. And if you allow yourself to get, into the beats and into what it is, you just find yourself having a great time.
But house music isn't it another form of disco?
No,
it's not with disco. So it didn't take the place of disco.
No. Disco is on a different level. In terms of that, disco was great when it was out, but disco has the house music derives from African culture. Actually, the drum sounds, the deep basses, all assimilate from African culture. And because it's all about how that music is mixed. In terms of the downloads or video, however it's being played. But it's the very rare music that you can actually get into, and it just really consumes you. And then come on, don't get too spiritual on me, okay? When I'm saying consumes you, all right, consumes you simply means that you get so involved with it that you enjoy yourself to the maximum, okay? I remember in the early days and going out to clubs in New York and DC, and then we would literally go to the clubs, at midnight. Club was just getting started at midnight. We wouldn't come out till 6 a.m. And we dance all night long, be sweating and all that. You don't have that kind of fun in clubs anymore.
Oh no, now clubs become more of a vibe.
Right. You come being cute,
It's just to go and people came, and the music is not even worth dancing
to. You can't.
You can't dance to it.
You can't unless you're doing lewd dancing. At the end of the day, because everybody's twerking, and
whatever you want to. But there, the line dancing has taken on,
and that's a good thing.
Line dancing has taken on a little bit more. Now, and it has always been line dancing, but now it's not more. We're trying to infiltrate a little bit more of the country western type of feel. But other than that, though,
But I'm sorry. Go ahead. You just struck another thought.
But it's just the fact that today's clubs are more like a vibe. But I always say, to be honest with you, when it boils down to it, house music will always have its own little wave of uplifting.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, most of its artists have been uplifted overseas more than they have over here.
True. Well, it's because as you stated earlier, is that the true essence of the vibe, what is house music, has been dissipated because of the hip hop genre. And you have a younger group of people that they didn't understand the aspects of hip. They're caught between this idea, what is the reality of dance and having fun, which the older generation understood dance, and then to integrating this cultural, what's the word I want to use? This cultural, I don't know, in inception. I'll just put it that way. Of what. Gay people, if you want to say, or even let's just keep it off of gay people, but people that generally like house music, So, and then one of the things from the gay outstanding of that is that they really had a problem with the hip hop coming into the clubs, because at one point, until they started the gay hip hop artists started coming, why they were like, well, why are we even playing this when people don't even support us?
Well, the platform of hip hop and urban does not support anything that's LGBT, because
exactly. Go ahead.
It's not considered masculine. It's not considered,
I don't know.
Well, to be honest, it's not what they would consider worth even trying to get themselves involved in.
Right.
But other than that, though, to be honest with you, I think when you have more women MCs right now that has kind of tapped into a little bit of that most, I would say, of the gay demographic has tapped into. A lot of Nicki Minaj's fans are gay. Megan Thee Stallion fans has a LGBT following, and Cardi B and all of these people. So it's not more the men, it's more the women that gets more of the support on the hip hop side and you will want they will want the men to support them, but it's like, no, it's not even worth the time nor the day nor the hour, because there would not be a man who would want to come out and support, especially hip hop artists who will want to come out and support Pride. Even into 2025, there's still some who are fighting the notion of going out there and gaining gay fans.
Yeah.
It's just at the end of the day, it's like it's really like I would say it's almost to them like a downgrade. And it's so funny though, but it is true.
You're right, and much money that the gay community has
spent
on these downloads.
They missing out a whole lot of money. They are
this horrible music I'm sorry, it's just too much of a detriment to that.
But that's why I kind of support Tank just a little bit.
I was about to say that. Tank. Now, Tank, and Tank made a statement several years back when he went and performed at DC Pride, and he took a little bit of a back flack from Breakfast Club, and about him, going and performing. He said, "I perform with everybody.
That's true.
Y'all the ones that got the problem with anybody else. What a person does privately, that shouldn't have any bearing on the music in the first place." And he kind of set the record straight. Then you had a few others that followed. Then also behind that, then you had these other LGBTQ rap artists that started surfacing, and started pulling their whatever off, and allowing themselves to be more accepted in the environment, whatever. But our opinions just do so much damage to situations, and then for that alone purpose, it's like, why? If a group of people enjoy something, then let them enjoy it. At the end of the day. I think the only problem I have is that when you get into your sexual proclivities and you bring that out into the public, that's when it becomes a problem. And I think that for some, heterosexual individuals that feel that is something that they can label, put a pinpoint on the LGBTQ community is that, and which is not true. All of them are not that. Well, you have some that because of these devices, that have exploited, being the authentic person that is an LGBTQ representation person. There are some out there that I don't stomach at all. And it's my conservative ways about it. You can call it whatever, fine. It's just that I just don't think that it on either side. Everything is not acceptable. Everything should not necessarily be portrayed in a light where you have other people that are being exposed to it. And which one I'm gonna mention real quick. I'm gonna shut up because I ain't gonna get on that bandwagon. I'm sure y'all on Instagram and saw this one, which I can't stand just as much as that hip hop music, is the one that parades around in high heels and women outfits.
Oh well, that's a given. That's
It's like, but here we are. I won't say struggling, but been empowering humanity for 5 years, and I'm gonna keep saying that for 5 years. And with good information, and he gets on here and just wears dresses and high heels and runs like he's the best runway model next to Tyra Banks and all the other ones, and get all these. I know
tomato.
I get it. No, but let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. So I don't approve of it. Some of y'all do. Okay, at the end of it, like you said, that's whatever you want to call it, but it's too much in my opinion. Okay, it's too much. But here's the too much about it. We're gonna move on. The too much about it is always the negative press that we that are not a part about it, and the assumption that everybody performs and acts like this person because they're putting everything out there on everything. It's just like all saying all black people are the same, all white people are the same. However, when you're a part of something, you don't necessarily want to be the focal point of everybody's conversation, but about these behaviors. That's all I'm saying. Most of us as black don't want to be the center point of everybody's conversation, especially when it comes to hoodniks,
But see, people who do that find that to be very revolutionary because they are being their true, authentic self, and in that way, they're trying to be very artistic in their expression. Yeah, I know you might think it's mediocre or whatever, but I think, to be honest with you, now I don't subscribe to it, and that's me.
Right.
But I do respect the fact that that's who they want to be. Okay. Now, if they're killing people and if they're robbing people and scamming people and them doing that, then that's where I have an issue. Mm-hmm. But I don't have an issue with that unless they are doing that.
Okay.
But I could care less because I always say they're not taking money away from me. They're not keeping food off my table.
True.
If that's what they want to do, let them do it.
Okay.
Like Charles have told us plenty of times, this is America. This is the freedom that we
right. We
want.
vote for.
We vote for.
Right.
We fight. We fought for.
Right.
So if that's what he wants to do, wear heels and walk down the, hey, be all you want to be. But just know that at the end of the day, that's who he is, and I am who I am.
Right.
And I can, I am who I am, being my true authentic self, being who I am, because this is, I feel good in what I represent.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like I say, that's what he subscribed to, and I subscribe to what I subscribe to.
Yeah, you got a point.
And that is the truth behind the truth.
Yeah,
we all come in diverse situations, even when it boils down to the way we, represent blackness. I don't always subscribe to what's too urban and to whatever I say too ghetto,
right.
because that's not all of what is black. Right. But that's what mainstream media would love to put us all in, and I have an issue with that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if that's what you subscribe to, fine, subscribe to it.
Right.
But that's not all of us. That's not a representation of what blackness represents.
Right.
Because we don't all come from the ghetto. We all come from, the Rust Belts. We come from the Bible Belts. We come from affluent to poor.
Right.
We come from ignorant to philosophical.
Right. Ooh, I like that one.
Yes, it's just at the end of the day, we need to start. I just wish mainstream will respect that, but see, that's where you get angry when it comes down to gay culture, because mainstream would love to put us in one box where we're all wearing contours and high heels and stuff, but that's not what the LGBTQIA plus is about. We all come in many, many facets of life.
Right.
And yes, and respect to those who do that, but that's not all of us.
Right. Exactly. And it does. It just it becomes just unfortunately newsworthy stuff,
Yes,
and
it is.
And on every level, at the end of the day. So celebrate Pride. We celebrate Pride in the just cause of why that it is and what it is bringing about, because it is truthfully about the true heart of individuals that have fought for the opportunity to be free of who they want to be and who they want to love, and
That's
has been supported for a long period of time from a lot of people.
That's
so,
right.
Get it. Hey, we all got our opinions. We got Pride people that support Donald Trump.
Oh, yes,
okay.
We do.
So please, and then half of Washington gay anyway. So that ain't
in the closet.
In the closet gay. I mean, because that's how we could say that for another show. Because y'all think y'all know Washington, y'all really don't know Washington. Okay, y'all really don't. Because I have had friends that have been pages in Washington, and there's a lot of pages can be turned in Washington. Okay, and what's that site, Grinder site or whatever.
Well, Trump's mentor was gay too. He was Harry Cohn.
Right.
The guy who was.
But I'm sorry to cut you off. I just meant where I'm coming from is not so much the poor end part of it. I mean the part that the rest of society thinks that goes on in the culture all the time. That's what I mean. The what's that site, Grinder, whatever, and all that. And
that blew up in the Republican convention.
Yeah, it sure did. Okay. And anyway, let's move on. We can dig in all that all night long. But anyway, so we can celebrate. Thank you for your support. To our LGBTQ community. I like to always refer to it as same gender loving versus to putting a label of whatever that means to you on top of same gender loving. That's what it is, and that's what it shall be. Remind you real quick, and we're gonna go on about our Cash App. Cash App. Please send us your money. Cash App is TTBTT Show, and on our Venmo account is there Truth Behind the Truth. Mm-hmm. We love your likes and shares, your comments, things like that you send in. I keep telling you every week we are working on some other opportunities to keep you guys aware of when we come live, in an instance. So it is a text message with service that we're going to be doing pretty soon with that. So keep your ears out. I'll let you know about that. It'll be posted on our individual pages about that coming up. And the mug contest still continues to go on. If you'd like to support and share, go to our email. TTBTTshow@gmail.com. and put your name and information into the 5 people that you have subscribed, what they are to, what websites they're on. We thank you for that. And your address, of course, we'll send you out a book. All right.
All right.
So we are going to move on. We are still in the entertainment factor.
All right.
All right. We have been meeting for a few weeks, and I want to hear your honest opinion. I was sending healing to Charles tonight too, as well. He's behind the camera. He has his voice is not with us tonight, so we're sending healing to him as well. He may pop in and say, "Okay," and then come on back off, But we kept saying each week that we're going to talk about Jamal, the new American Idol. Okay. I watched American Idol more this past season than I did in a long time. Okay, because they were horrible. All right, I mean horrible. This is the first time that I have seen. I think you have seen that we had five or six African American or people. Just put it this way: people that could sing in the top 10. Okay, I was shocked. I was shocked to the beat of the shock. Okay, because mostly any one of them could have probably. Well, no, I'm gonna say that because some of them they were a little too gospely, and then
it became Sunday Best American Idol.
Yeah, it kind of did. It really did. If you think about it, and that's not. And okay, don't attack me because of my statement. All right. There's a time and place for everything, okay? And maybe they were feeling lit about it. However, if you're in an environment that you're trying to bring more to the voting category, you need to show a little bit more diversity.
Well, honestly, and I hate to say this, to be honest with you, the audience that watches American Idol is a very conservative audience. Yes, it is. It's a very
them
conservative.
Kids?
No, I hate to say this.
Okay.
This is a very conservative audience.
Okay.
Most people who subscribe to American Idol, you see who wins every year.
Yeah, well,
I hate to say it. There is a right-wing type of Christian audience.
Agenda.
It's an agenda, but it's an audience that watches the show. And they vote for who they deem is a best representation to them of the American Idol they want to see. And I stopped watching American Idol because it's not based on talent anymore. Right. I don't know if it was ever based on talent, but I can say this
it was mostly likes in whatever you presented.
It was who represents you and what you thought American Idol should be. It wasn't based on the talent. Right. And I, for one, used to watch it every year when it was on Fox, not on ABC, because now that it's on ABC, they have kind of cleaned it and scrubbed it a little bit to the point that the judges have to play it squeaky clean and sugarcoat stuff. They can't be as out like Simon Cowell was. Simon on Fox was on fire. I mean, that was the reason why I would watch American Idol from the very beginning, because Simon would literally put a tape recorder on the table and say, "You thought that was good? Play the tape recorder." That's terrible. He would really lay down the hatchet on a lot of people's dreams. Yeah, he would bust balloons at the auditions like you were just horrible.
What are y'all doing?
You're just horrible.
Right.
But on that though, that's why a lot of people watched it. And
he was telling the truth behind the truth. I mean, there are people out there that because mama and grandmama and everybody in the neighborhood thought that they could sing, or they did a few plays or whatever the case.
And it didn't matter what he said, because the audience, they were going to vote for the mediocre regardless. Yeah. It was anything to get up underneath Simon's skin, but I always looked at it like it was a talent show. It was great to hear people sing and all, but at the end of the day, hey, people want who they best wanted. You remember Zendaya? Was it Zendaya? The guy he was a guy. It was so many of them. Those fly by night mediocre. Those who didn't have talent, but the American public loved them so much.
Oh yeah.
That, he bangs, all that craziness. That right there was very telling to me that America
didn't know music, didn't know how to sing.
They weren't serious about the competition,
and they weren't talented.
They weren't serious about the competition.
The audience wasn't serious, and that's the thing, because for whatever it's 75%, 25%, 50% of whatever the voting comes from them. I got to the point where I said that Americans do not know talent. At the end of the day, you're right. It is shade, Charles, because it's the truth. They didn't know talent. And these people that won are kept and getting into these. I'm like, what are y'all hearing?
they love personalities here.
What was that personality too?
It just depends. It depends on what you think is relatable to you.
Okay.
And that is the American audience. Americans do, and this is no new generational thing. This has been going on since the beginning of entertainment on steroid and steroids. But at the end of the day, this is just what keeps pop culture going.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but Americans love mediocre because they can relate to mediocre talent.
Yeah.
And and you cannot hate, but you cannot hate the artists. You hate the people who put money behind this.
Yeah.
That's why we have mediocre talent right now. That's why you listen to stuff on the radio and you just turn it off because this is what people are subscribing to. And it's like, okay, then fine. You know what? I don't want to hear this. I will listen to what best suits me, which is watercolors,
exactly,
a little bit of jazz, and a little bit of old school R&B,
a lot of old school
gospel. Sometimes if I feel like it, it's just at the end of the day, I'm not subscribing to that. I'm not.
I make no error for that. The 70s is my kind of music. I am a 70s guy. It's where I grew. I mean, of course, I grew up with Motown 7, but 70s was just the encapsulation of 3 different genres of decades that came together to make music. And it's so good to the point, as you know, that every commercial you hear just about comes out today. Every hip hop, everybody, they're always sampling.
Mary J. Blige hits comes from the 70s. Mary J. Blige, just everything she has ever hit number one was a sample of the 70s. But
Car Wash, from the album Car Wash from Rolls Royce, I'm Going Down. Okay, that was from Car Wash. The second album. I'm Going Down. That was Rolls Royce.
Hip hop too. The Funk in Parliament. All of that West Coast stuff was Funk in Parliament and all that stuff. But you know what? Maya Rudolph said this. The best thing about the 70s was you didn't have to look great, but you just had the talent. You can look all types of ways, but the talent was always there.
True. That's kind of true.
And it's true. It was very true.
I mean, it is. But celebrating Jamal again, congratulations on his win.
I hope you do that song with Fantasia because he said he wants to do a song with Fantasia.
He did
and he is the new male Fantasia to me. He is. He reminds me of
this young gentleman has a phenomenal voice, and he can sing any genre of music that you put in front of him. This guy's good. He even to the point that he did take a semi-gospel, overlaid song to take it to number 1, which was his first song coming from the show. So congratulations, for him to for that. And I'm hoping that he is successful. It would be nice to see him up there with the Kelly Clarksons and Carrie Underwoods. That
it's going to take a major push from an agent that really cares for him and cares for one thing about this industry, and that's the one thing I said about there are certain artists that are so talented, but their backing is not that good to push it. That's what made Whitney Houston so great. There were a bunch of Whitney Houston. There was a bunch of Whitney Houstons in the 80s. You had Stephanie Mills. You had a lot of these singers. You had oh my God, even your girl, Dalvin Houston. All these people were still running. Jennifer Holiday, but the backing wasn't so great. But at the end of the day, you look at it now, and I don't know. Jamal, I'm just hoping and praying that I want success for him, but I want peace of mind from him too. I'm pushing more peace of mind with his success because I'm seeing so many stories of people who are so successful, but they don't have peace of mind. And I want him to go in whole and healthy, with a clear mind, with focus and discipline. I don't want him to go in there and make all these hits and then just go erratic on us.
Well, yeah, true.
I really want him to be successful and not erratic. With that.
It depends on who's handling his career.
True behind the truth.
Yeah, true.
One point, Houston.
One point before, and then with his prize money, which is wonderful that he did, is that he gave his prize money to the school ladies because they needed to build a new auditorium. So
and he's from Mississippi too, so they were going to need that. They want to need that money. Go ahead. You from Mississippi, so you knew where to put that money was right back into the school system because y'all need it.
But
I mean, I ain't trying to be funny because I'm from Alabama and I know certain parts of Alabama needs that money too. But yes, Mississippi, you definitely you did right by that.
Some problem his aspects of being a philanthropist already.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep
doing that. Supporting an aspect. All right, so in the entertainment role, we just wanted to mention, you did mention her just a minute ago, the divine and ever missed Miss Whitney Houston. Today was the release of her Whitney album, which was like the number one album, right?
It came number one.
It debuted at number one. Debuted at number one.
Yeah.
And it was 38 years ago. I just didn't believe that it's been that long ago. But everything on this album is like you hear it, and it's still like it was yesterday.
Well, and Michael Master wrote half of it.
But the quality of the singing, we've been talking about singing. The quality of the singing, and the greatness of the written side of the music was just beautiful.
Yes, it was.
It was just simply beautiful and to great success. Now we know Whitney's story. We're not getting into that with her ups and downs or whatever the case may be throughout the course of her life. All of us really wish she was still here.
I wish she was.
I really wish she was. That she
had no business being there.
No
business being not
at all. So we celebrate the 38th anniversary of her album Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
In that same line, this past week, Michael Jackson got back up there again on the top.
Oh, wow.
He has sold the only artist outside everybody. I mean, I'm talking everybody. He has sold more albums than any artist in the history of music.
Yeah.
1.7 billion.
Wow.
17.5 billion, excuse me.
Wow.
17 of his genre, and that keeps him at the number one slot of any artist of any time.
That's crazy.
Isn't that something? So, they threw him under the bus back in the 90s. He pushed the bus back. He came back with it. I just really wish that he was able to regain his self, at that particular point in time. But all of the, things that took a part of his life and happened to him. But still, he's doing more in depth than he almost could have done in life.
Because people miss that type of organic talent. That's the only thing about it. His talent was very organic. It wasn't just, oh my gosh, to be honest with you, nobody won't. That won't ever be topped. I'm sorry.
No, it can't.
I'm sorry with all these streaming artists. No,
but you have to remember, he's already ahead of them, and they're still trying to catch up to where he already been. You know what I'm saying? It's like running the race. You already passed everybody in the race, and they try to, they're trying to run to get them in the race.
It's done. I like Chris Brown. Well, it depends on, but at the end of the day, it's just that was a very organic moment in music at that time. I mean, if you didn't know music, you always knew Michael. Right. I didn't know if you didn't know my goodness, man, that's just it's so bad that it's awful that these folks are not here. But you know what? I really do understand in his case that he was not going to be with us too long because the world, not the world, humanity and society kept messing
with his life,
with everything that he had going on. They kept proning and pushing and doing whatever they were doing, and I kept saying to myself, he's not going to be with us for too long because at the end of the day, the universe is pushing him towards him transitioning because it's just this awful society that we live in, this judgmental society that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and it comes through our algorithms too.
Yeah.
The saddest thing about it is people are so judgmental and they think they know every goddamn thing in the world. And that's not always the case. You don't know what's going on. That's why I do not judge people. I don't say everything that's on my mind about people because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. That's why it's better just to sit back and just, say, oh, that person's talented. Great. Yeah. But everything else needs to be just left alone because I don't know that woman nor man. I'm looking at Puffy right now.
I was about to say that.
I'm looking at him.
Looking at him right now. Well, side eye.
For years, he was talented.
Cross-eyed. And I even met the guy. Great conversation. I met the guy. and had a nice
I don't know
conversation
him
with him,
either.
everything. I mean, of course, at this point, I would have never thought that, and I was never a Puffy fan in terms of music. I was, as a mature man, I was proud of his success and where he took money and what allegedly looked like he took money and did, and developed a brand. I loved his clothing. I loved all those things that he did. He was one of the very few that put his clothing out there in a market where African American men could have stylish, options.
He was trying to
That
bring it back.
he was trying to really, bring fashion back, and and all of a sudden that kind of eased off, whatever the case. But again, we're not here talking about Puffy because it's enough going on him every day.
Yeah, there's a lot
there's a lot going on with him every day.
He's not a focus and the distraction that I hate to say that some important people would love for us to tune into instead of some other stuff.
Absolutely.
So let's keep that moving.
Absolutely. So one of the last thing I think was on the entertainment side we had to talk about, right?
You talking about
no, Audrey, I know that's coming up, but was it? I think it was the last thing about Audrey McDowell and Patti LuPone. So there is, and it will be, if she doesn't correct it, between now and Sunday.
She already has.
Well, she apologized, but you know how that goes, So Patti LuPone had been on record to saying that things that were not appropriate, about Audrey McDowell, and then how could she be in this position? And she sees herself as the queen of Broadway. In some respects, I can understand her saying that because she's a well-accomplished actor, performer, musical, all of those things on Broadway. She's accomplished a lot. However, the beautiful woman standing next to her, Miss Audrey McDowell, is the most decorated, winning actress on Broadway. Okay. In the Broadway league, and very humble about it. And the woman is, I'm so hoping that we get a chance to get to New York to see a Gypsy before before she leaves the show. Oh my God. But, and I think Patti got upset. This is just me talking. I think Patti got upset because it had been a long steady saying that Patti was one of the better Mama Rose for so long. When the last time that they did a revival of Gypsy, at that time, and Patti was just great, at it. Okay, even Bernadette Peters took a step back, and said that Audrey, that Patti was good. However, now allegedly that Bernadette Peters said that when she went to see Audrey, she said she was unbelievable.
I can believe it.
Unbelievably great.
I can believe it.
So
thank God it wasn't Jennifer Holiday that took that role. See, that would have been something to watch. You go see Jennifer Holiday take that
Mama
role.
Rose.
Mama Rose, yeah, that would have been something to watch right there.
Yeah, probably would have. So I think that the winds were flowing, at the time, and Patti was doing another show. So she got sparked because the Alicia Keys play was it Stone something Concrete.
I don't know.
It's a derivative of her, the song that she did with her and what's that, Beyonce's husband. So, but anyway, and it's doing very well too. So they said that there was a little bit extra partying going on after the show at Patti's dressing room. At the show that she was doing was next to the other girl that was the lead in Alicia Keys' place. So she went off about it. She went off about the music, said it was way too loud, and she didn't like it. And then the alleged said that it kind of rolled over to how Audrey's performance was in Gypsy. So anyway, it was all said to the New Yorker. You guys can go read it there and get the 411 about it. But I just want to say, look, Patti, shut up. Okay, you've had your reign. All right. At the end of the day, Audrey has that I've seen her and whatever. She's been a very humble woman, at the end of the day. And guess what? She's gonna win again come Sunday.
Well, I think the only person that's happy about this news is Madonna because
for
many years,
yes.
What was the show that Patti did that Madonna did?
Avita, yes.
Avita. I think Madonna's sitting back and like, thank God it ain't me this go round. This woman has been beefing with me since we had beef at the dinner table.
Well, in case you guys, you guys are not if you're not part of Broadway music and Broadway and understand it, please do that. Get involved. But
if you in the Rust Belt in Middle America, they could care less.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it is news. So Patti LuPone, she is known just for speaking her mind and not mincing words. I always look at her like she's the Betty Davis of Broadway.
Okay.
Betty Davis was known for not mincing words and calling people out, saying people who were unprofessional, who were professional, and didn't care.
Right.
Peloton comes from that type of nuance. The only thing about what she did was when she attacked these two women, she thought, well, this is just going to roll over because people are used to me saying stuff. But she dug such a deep hole in this interview for herself that, you know, people were like, wait a minute, what's up?
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Like, even Audrey was like, I haven't seen Patty in 11 years, and I didn't know about this beef or this riff. So it's like at the end of the day, Patty just, I don't know.
So I'm not to cut you off, but just so you guys know, it got to the point that it really just messed up with the Broadway League. It really did. So over 500 performers that are on Broadway at this particular point in time they all signed a petition to not allow Patty LuPone to attend the Tonys this Sunday. You know, so I'm sure that's why they apologize.
Nobody.
I mean, well, yeah, but you know,
I wouldn't have written off. I said, "Girl, I mean, you can come to the Tonys, but damn, like really, like you really have that up your sleeve? Like, come on, man."
You know, and maybe because we may be getting the filtered down side of this. It could have been just not only that because the two are that popular at this point, but it could have been more said and it rubbed. But it's obviously something when 500 people said they don't want you to show up at the award. You said something you shouldn't have said. So Patty. I like you.
We're not talking about Patty LaBelle. We're talking about Patty LuPone.
Patty LuPone.
I know, because when you said Patty out there, everybody probably said Patty LaBelle.
No. Patty, please. You know, I'm gonna get Churchy on you, girl. Repent. I know you made an apology, but they need you to repent right now. Okay.
You think Kim Burrell could do Broadway?
No. Anyway.
They Karen Clark here.
No. Anyway.
Dorothy Norwood.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody in the audience. Okay. No, we done the church finger. They learn it real quick. Anyway, so let me finish my point with Patty LuPone. Okay, so Patty, hey, I still like you, still love you, but you need to make that correction, make it right. Okay, at the end of the day, make it right. Girl, keep your mouth closed. Okay, at the end of the day, because it's too much.
Would be great on Broadway.
Anyway, let's move on.
I think the Winans would be great.
So now we're going to take a turn. Okay. We have this little video clip that we wanted to share with you guys about that idiot in the White House, that we tried to warn you about not, getting involved with those.
I heard you got a new foundation coming out.
Oh, he does?
L'Oreal got the new, it's called Orange is the New Red.
Oh my God, I can't.
Asian orange.
Well,
Asian orange.
Okay.
Asian orange is the,
Well, this clip that you had brought to the team about the racial disparities that are existing in America at this particular point in time. And we want to just draw your attention to it, okay, and to let you know what is out there. As anything that we try to bring to you on this show, or not try, we bring you something. It has been vetted, okay, and it is the truth behind the truth. So take a few minutes. We're going to let you listen to this, and then we will discuss it pretty briefly. All right, Charles, if you want to go ahead and play that one. Give him just a minute, guys. We can talk till he gets it up and going. But kind of give a brief synopsis of what this guy was doing.
Well, actually, the video is based on this guy who is, I believe, he supports Donald Trump, but he is trying to inform those of African American descent. No. He's trying to tell us about, the racism that's about to happen and deeper. Well, let's just go ahead. You pulled it up. Go ahead. Well, go ahead. But it's just the fact that he's informing us, which we already knew.
Right.
We know what's going to happen. And he's trying to tell us, y'all really don't go out and do certain things because he's trying to start a race war.
Right.
Okay. Let's go.
So I don't know if he's probably having.
He's probably having, but that is basically the situation. He's trying to say that Trump is so wanting to start some form of a race war, and I can believe it. I think it's been proven that he thrives off of race, even though he likes to sugarcoat it with other things, with other coded languages. But yes, it's so. There is even a new thing out on TikTok called Black Fatigue. I don't know if you paid any attention to it. Well, there are certain people say they're tired of Black people. They're fatigued of us.
I'm tired. Anyway.
But at the end of the day, hey, like I say, it is what it is.
So I think he's trying to get it.
He's trying to get it together.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Donald Trump's racist provocations are going to lead to violence sooner or later, and that's what he wants. Recently, he issued an executive order that was basically titled "Unleash the Police," and last week, his Civil Rights Division in the Department of Justice, led by Harmeet Dillon, did a couple of things. She announced that she is shifting the focus of the Civil Rights Division away from what its focus has been for the last 70 years that made it the crown jewel of the Department of Justice. She is shifting its focus away from discrimination against marginalized communities in the United States, including Black people in the LGBTQ community and women and the disabled, to focusing on discrimination against white Christians in the United States, religious discrimination against religious people. And we all saw Donald Trump's treatment of the Black president of South Africa in the Oval Office this week. Donald Trump is absolutely desperate to get Black Americans out in the streets protesting. There have been a lot of protests over the last 4 months. And every protest that I've gone to has pretty much been white people exclusively. And the police have just hung out on the outer edges, leaning up against buildings. The one protest that I read about where there were a significant number of arrests was in Philadelphia, and most of the people that were arrested were Black people, and the majority of those were Black women. A lot of those were older Black women.
And we told them to stay their tails home.
Donald Trump wants racial violence in the streets in the United States. And he can't get that unless there are Black people, Black Americans protesting in the streets.
You can stop it right there, Charles. You can stop it right there. But you know what? It goes back to when Kamala lost. You know, a lot of Black people within social media, especially within Black social media, kept telling Black folks, listen, y'all, it's time to sit back and let them figure this thing out. But I even said this, the only way to fight this type of evil is to fight them in the pocketbooks. If you keep going out there supporting people who do not wish you any type of equality, then you're giving them the platform to do what they do best. And it goes back to the bus boycott. The public transportation, the buses in Montgomery lost so much money because Black folks stopped riding the bus. Black folks, at least those who figured it out, understood that economically we can make things better by taking our money back, utilizing and disciplining our pocketbooks. But you know, at the end of the day, yes, I believe that we always knew that he was looking for some form of race disruptiveness and all types of craziness between the whites and Blacks, because that's what he thrives off of.
Well, I mean, we knew that all along. It's not surprising that it's not, but it's good to hear that, you know, especially coming from this gentleman's perspective, a voice that's appearance-wise is making
like Joe Dirt,
right? Yeah, well, making a point, strong reference to what his plan and what he is attempting to do, and hoping that this is another again that help people to wake up to the fact of what's going on. Real quick, we got another clip that's very similar to that we're going to play. I wanted to say hey to Daryl Winston, a good friend of Charles and I's. He has been in the acting community with all of us for a while. I'm so excited for him getting his role on the daytime drama Behind the Gate. Oh my God, Behind the Gates. Yes. I've been watching it ever since, Daryl. hopefully you're still on and listening to me as I'm saying this. But also, we want you to come on the show and talk about all that audition process too. So just reach out to us. We can maybe connect that out. But a good friend of ours, so wanted to celebrate you, my friend, and I did put a post out there saying congratulations to you, about that, and it's making it happen. You're doing it proud, man. You're doing it proud. Okay. All right. But anyway, so Charles, go ahead and play another clip with that lady and then her explanation, and we'll dissect that real quick in the same line with this the gentleman with about Trump. May not be able, if you can't get it, I will assist you in this one. Cheryl's on it if you can't get it. Sorry, guys, it's just a little technical end of everything real quick here.
Okay, people, are you aware of what Elon Musk is doing today? If you think he's down in Texas, focus on Tesla, focus on Starlink, guess again. Remember, it was just a few days ago we saw that final press conference, the bromance, Elon Musk with the black eye in the Oval Office, Donald Trump saying farewell to Musk, but they were still going to be close, thick as thieves. Well, suddenly Elon Musk is big time mad. He did say last week he wasn't happy with Congress and the spending bill and where they were going and disrespecting Doge, but now he is going all in. Check this tweet out. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. These are the words of Elon Musk. Remember, Elon Musk couldn't have been closer to Donald Trump on the campaign trail the first 100 days of the administration. We know that Doge was all about cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, but now he is looking at this big beautiful spending bill, and he is big time mad.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, he even said that those who voted for this, like she said, will pay for this. But even Steve Bannon came out and said, well, those really didn't do the job that they were supposed to do. Now, this is so funny. Now, I thought this was crazy. Steve Bannon said that Doge really didn't they didn't cut any waste. They didn't come back with any type of new news about what was going on, and that everything that they were supposed to do didn't come into fruition. So what was the point? That tells me everything was a crock of shit, because everything now that they're telling us is not really landing in Truthville.
Right.
And if Steve Bannon is coming out saying that Elon didn't do his job and whatever he was doing was fake news, then what makes him and Trump and everybody else who is telling us about this wonderful bill, this beautiful bill, what makes this the truth? I'm still kind of like, what is this about?
Well,
Happy.
Even with what you're saying, I mean, there's just so many layers that, not saying that you're opening up, but there's just so many deceptive layers that it's about all this whole practice, at the end of the day. And, it's like what I've been saying on the more shit that he throws at the wall, the more people smell it and they want to be a part of it. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand where the fear of congressional people have with this man. I don't understand that. Nobody wants to push back. Nobody wants to say, Mr. Clown, Mr. Orange Face, Mr. Red Face, Mr. Whatever. Sir, you need to stop doing what you're doing. And these are the reasons why. Okay, until they get somebody with some kahunas, as they would say in
Congress. But it's going to take the Republicans, because the Democrats are in the minority in Congress as well as in the Senate.
Right.
But you got more of those in the Senate that are Republican, who are standing up to this nonsense and saying that what you're doing is absolutely ridiculous and it's asinine to what we got going on. It's just that, but the judges, God bless the judges. I think honestly, that's who's actually saving democracy, are the judges. The judges are doing the will of the people, because all this stuff about tariffs, it's not happening right now because of the judges.
Well, it is.
You think so?
Well, not in the sense that the way that it was originally. It's kind of like doing another backdoor deal with them, pardon the pun, because it was allegedly supposedly not going to be done. Then the 2-week referendum happened, and now it's going to be done at the end of next week or whatever. He's been waiting for June to do it, whatever. So I think it's all been like what you see at Walmart and Target. These are all have become more distractions rather than allies for the people. Okay, and with the distractions being surfaced around, next thing you know, people are like, "Oh my God, I didn't believe that was going to happen." Well, he said something because we're not paying attention. We're not, And then what was on ABC News today? They were discussing the certain prices that were going to. Toys are going to be the number one thing that's going to get hit first. Okay, and of course, toys are very popular in the U.S., but keeping kids entertained.
I'm surprised you didn't say food.
Well, yeah. So the thing with the toys is that they pull a couple of things, from I think Walmart or Target. One of them, this one baby doll is some sort of popular baby doll that these little girls are wanting right now.
Ladoodle?
No, not that thing.
That Ladora, Ladoodle?
No, that thing. No.
And that's Chinese.
Wait, hold on.
That's Chinese manufactured.
Let me finish my point.
Go ahead.
So the doll was, I think, $16.95 or whatever the price, and then now it has jumped by $10 to $29 something. Then they mentioned about another Etch a Sketch. That was what I had growing up as a child. I think it was like $10. Now the Etch a Sketch is at $25 per one. So of course China made, and all those things are made in China. Most of every toy is made here, made in China in the first place. So it's going to happen. It is happening. And it's a deceptive May, and it's all going to wake up one day. Everybody's going to say, "Oh wow! By the way, I didn't realize." Or it's been played against Wall Street, okay, so that Wall Street can act like that it's recovering, which it really isn't, based upon that, because you're up today, down tomorrow, up today, down tomorrow. What they're trying to do is to send some sort of message to the American people, okay, that deception is better than truth at the end of the day. But go ahead, what you were saying about that little silly doll, since we're on toys.
Well, Labubu.
Oh, yeah.
Labuda, whatever they call it.
Probably Labuda, whatever it is.
I mean, it's the new thing right now, and it's Chinese manufactured, too, which I'm surprised that people are going to buy. It's called Labubu. But I might well show a picture of it if I can, if you can see it. It's this little crazy looking doll right here that's costing people $200 and something because you got people who are celebrity worshipers.
Right.
They see their certain celebrities wearing this, so they want to go buy it.
Right.
But the saddest thing about it is with that is another distraction.
Yeah.
And that the American people, they don't quite understand that it's severe what this man is doing. He's now causing the debt to go up, the economical the national debt. But then on top of that, this is what got me. The Department of Labor shut down every Job Corps campus within these United States. You have people who will come and gaslight or bait you into an argument saying that this generation do not want to work. They don't want to find a trade. They don't want to do nothing. All they want to do is sit back and watch. You have kids right now who are on those campuses learning a trade, and they have nowhere else to go. They have no supportive family, no finances, no anything. And your president, who's so busy trying to, we're cutting down the debt, so we're gonna liquidate from the Department of Education, and we're gonna try to liquidate some of the Department of Labor. So what are you talking about? Jobs are coming back to America. What jobs are you? You're not even giving people the platform or the foundation to build up their skill. So you're taking away funding away from education, not only education, but Job Corps. Places where people, at least young adults, are trying to find their way. Instead of being in the streets or being in jail, they're trying to find a trade. And you have just taken away the opportunity of those individuals who are trying to make a better life way for themselves. And it's so sad that most of the American people will agree that that's the best way to go about it, because that's who they voted for. On top of that, the one thing I will give him credit for is that the fact that he has the ICE, the vigilantes. Most of them are Caucasian men of the Ku Klux Klan, I believe. So are the neo-Nazis who are going around just, going into, immigration cases and snatching up people and saying, go out to the car. That's the one thing I will give him credit for. He has put that to work.
Yeah.
But the saddest thing about it is, though, he has now found a way to separate people from their families.
Yes.
And I hate to say that is the worst thing that this country could have ever done to people who are trying to find the correct way to immigrate to this country by going to their immigration cases.
Yes.
But then once they come walking out, it's a sad sight to see. It's a very sad sight to see.
I didn't, and maybe I just was not paying attention to it, at all myself. Wherein this whole situation of the immigration process, until he has just done, I gotta be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to it because I just thought, we loved everybody in America and they would give them an opportunity to become American. I wasn't thinking about trying to deport anybody. It wasn't on my radar, and how often have you and I talked about deportation? Probably that much. You know what I mean? So I have to admit that maybe I was just uneducated in that aspect of what was going on with it. I just didn't. It didn't bother me like all of these other people that were done. Because if you're talking about losing jobs, hell, them jobs have been lost overseas for over 25 years at this point.
Blame Reagan.
And the customer service of many customer companies have been overseas for the longest period of time. Now that I have been voicing my opinion about, to different companies, because if I get somebody that's overseas, I tell them, send me back to America because I want to make America and have the ones that had the jobs, not over there, So, but all of this situation is going. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that so many of these illegal aliens were part of the drug cartels.
Oh, please.
Allegedly,
but
the drug cartels don't get supported unless the politicians support them. So
basically, that's who supports them.
I know
that's who supports them.
I knew that. So
But,
now that they've gotten through with you, so now you become illegal. So they get rid of you. They couldn't shoot you up. They couldn't shoot you. They couldn't put you on a firing squad. They surely couldn't put you in jail. So let's make up some policies and get this clown in the White House to get
no policy.
It is not, but they're making up policies. There it is. So let's make a policy that we come snatch out your house and everything else and support this man in doing what he's doing.
Before you go into that, Charles.
For what?
What the fuck you doing?
Hey, what are you doing? What's going on? They ain't got no warrant to go on your shit. Nah, what is that? What is that? Go get a warrant. Get the fuck out of here. Go get a motherfucking warrant. And y'all got him. Get the fuck out. Straight up. Y'all do the fuck y'all want around here. Get the fuck out. What's going on here?
But what's so sad? But hey, we are a different breed. I hate to say it. We're not asking no questions. And that's just but going back to what I was thinking about, what that man said in the first reel, the Department of Justice, their main focus, not from the standpoint of figuring out what is making this country what it is, which of inequality of whatever injustices that come along with that, but now they're taking the focus away from that to why there is a mistreatment with white Christians. Was there ever a mistreatment with white Christians? I'm still trying to figure that out.
What is mistreatment with white Christians? What is that shit?
Nobody never thrown a bomb in the basement of a white church and killed white little poor girls, or even burnt down black churches around burnt down white churches around the South. I ain't never heard no stories of such. So what are they trying? Oh Jesus! It's so odious. It's so odious. It's so ugly that these people are baiting us into wanting us to say that this stuff is going on with This stuff is so made up.
It is.
Mistreatment of white Christians. Boy, you can't make shit up these days.
Look, who are you telling? I mean,
I ain't never heard of mistreatment of white Christians.
Some things you just kind of lose your words for because that's how asinine that it is in making statements like that, And you know how we are on this stands on alleged Christianity.
Black Christians come up and say some stuff, talk about, well, there is some mistreatment within the white our Christian brother. I wish some black Christian would say some stuff like that. Oh my goodness, I will. Oh Lord,
I just hate the fact that they're so-called in the household faith that there's a divisional piece about ethnicity, and we're supposed to be worshiping our God. Really. And I'll leave that at that because we're over our time tonight. But let me just kind of piggybacking off what you said about that. So let me just put this disclaimer out there, okay? Then we'll end it up though. When you transition from this side of life and you transition over to the other side of life, there's no black vapor. There is no white vapor. There is no Asian vapor. There's no Hispanic vapor. There's no red vapor. It's just vapor. Mm-mm. And the vapor that comes up out of you that brings that removes the life that gives life to this body has no color, no form, or no void. All right. So y'all need to get over, and I'm talking to all of y'all. Y'all need to get over this shit about what somebody look like and predicating a decision on what people do. These are, I know, right? These are learned behaviors from centuries of bad communication between human beings. Period. There's no other. I mean, and again, you can exploit it. Well, what if? There's no what else to it. It's bad behavior. It's learned behaviors. Okay, that dates back eons. I mean, since thousands of years ago. Racism ain't just happening all of a sudden here in America. Trust me. You right now, and I was going to get into this tonight about the Muslims and how they do on the workplace, but I'm going to say that for next week. Okay, with one that I was going to deal with at the interim of stuff and understand how the Muslim faith has used people. Okay, but we won't get into that one tonight. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna leave that, drop that nugget for you guys next week. But I'm witnessing this on the company that I work with. Okay,
which is a Christian-based company. Yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you, my Muslim brothers and sisters, the ones that are doing the wrong things, y'all need to stop. Okay, y'all really need to stop. You stop trying to make a Fortune 500 bend to your worship rules when your Christian people can't do that. And then you're talking about suing people because they're not bowing to your rules. What is this? You know what I'm saying? What is this? Man, I'm telling you, I know I got to shut up. I hope Pope Leo will correct this shit in a heartbeat. And I'm putting it that way. For whatever he's been ordained down to do, it is not from necessarily a Catholic perspective in terms of worship, but the humanitarian side that needs to be addressed. I'm sending good energy to him, to wherever that he's going to be risen to talk to these kings and presidents and all these other people that are making all these. You got people standing out his door wanting to make an appointment with him. Okay, I'm really sending him. If you want to call it in,
I'm so sorry, y'all.
Spiritual arena about anointings and whatever you want to call it on this man. Okay, I'm gonna say this: he was elected, pushed, put in, voted in for, and being the type of pope that he is to be pope for a reason. All right, he gonna get some things straightened out. Okay,
that's just hoping
he gonna get some things straightened out. I'm serious. He is.
I did not know he could infiltrate that type of situation.
He can. They always be like, what you know, what Vance has been over there trying to butter him up. Every 2 weeks, Vance is over at the Vatican. Probably ain't never been to the Vatican his whole entire life.
Just hope he doesn't get him on his eyeliner.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
As long as he's not trying to teach the Pope how to put on eyeliner, we should be okay.
It should be okay, right? But and again, I know I want to shut up. Okay, let me just say this. All right. All things in life are spiritual. Everything you do.
I thought to say are free.
Well, no. Free and spiritual. But it is. It's spiritual. It's just where you find yourself on the scope of the spirituality. It is.
Yes, it is.
Check it out for yourself. All right. We got to go. All right. As we close, I do want to remind everybody that the sequence to my wonderful film that has been everybody's wonderful film that has grossed just shy of $1 billion
It's
worldwide.
coming back out again.
$1 billion worldwide, and is Wicked. Wicked for Good will be out in theaters in November, to pick up with a continuation of the story. This is promising to be even a little bit more in depth than the stage play was with it. Okay. So they're actually paying attention to where Dorothy fits into this.
Oh, wow.
They have done scenes that actually show Dorothy.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting how they pull this together and make it, and the ending. The ending of this is just amazing. Those that have seen the play, you know what's going to happen in the end, but it's going to be really good. So get your tickets ready, and they're doing this. I want you to bring it up because they're doing the trailer releases tomorrow for it. So hey, get in front of your personal devices, check it out. If you haven't seen the first movie, go see it. It does change your life. It does put you in a different perspective of you as an individual. And as we said during that time, the ending of last year with it. There are so many points in your life with people. I had to do it today that you have to defy gravity over certain circumstances with people that are trying to pull you down one way or the other.
Well,
okay.
I would say life will definitely pull you down.
So but the point is that you soar above it and not allow it to pull you down.
Right.
Once you know who you are. All right. Anyway, So we've had a great night talking with you guys tonight. It's been an inspiration. We're sending our healing vibes out to our brother Charles. I'm sure he'll be back with us next week. He's been on the other side, manning things and whatever. Thank you guys for the new tuners tonight. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Nice. We celebrate you. We celebrate the fact that you can give the opportunity to tell somebody else what the wonderful things that Super Andrew says. Yes. And those that are critical of us, shut up.
No, that comes with the territory. Be as critical as you would like. Okay. As long as you share and subscribe and join the conversation, you can be as critical as you would like to be. I want to be.
No, nice. Being nice. All
right. At the end of the day, it is
anyway, remember all of our social media platforms and all those things. And also on YouTube, we need you to make sure you're checking out DTWW Reactions. This is a powerful man right here. Okay, and he's giving you more information about your entertainment factor. Can you get on camera, please?
I try to be on camera.
Wait a minute, you look another way.
I know.
I need you back on camera. Okay.
My ear. Let me in your ear. Okay.
But check him out, the DTW, the Don in Washington page on YouTube, and look for DTWW Reactions. All right. We love you guys. We'll see you back here next Tuesday evening. Set your time, set your place. When we pop up between 6:15 and 6:30. All right. We love you guys. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in to what? The truth behind the truth. Bye-bye.